my goodness. He can cycle round at the other end, at the narrow end. I want to get him into skateboarding so he can be a stunt skateboarder too. That's quite impressive control you've got there, Jasper. I just need my coffee, hang on.
Hello, do you want biscuits or cheese or Halloween offers coming up? Halloween.
I have no idea what you're saying, Jasper, I really don't. While we were away, we had a power cut, because they are quite common around here, unfortunately, and I discovered a little problem with robot mowers and power cuts. It seems to just stop functioning. I mean, it went back to its docking station, or it was in its docking station when the power cut occurred, perhaps. But what it didn't do was start cutting again when the power came back. So there's a couple of potential solutions. I could just buy myself an uninterruptible power supply. That probably is the cheaper option. I mean, that's what I'm going to do if they can't use the batteries as backup power. I might get an uninterruptible power supply anyway. What do you reckon, Jasper? Should we get one of those? Yeah, I think I've been meaning to give one of those a try, actually. A subscriber suggested that would be quite a good way to keep the internet going in the house as well. So that looks like the best solution for low power draw items and power cuts. Anyway, I press start on the mower again now, and it is reducing our lawn, and amazingly enough, there is actually grass sprouting. It's getting there. Jazzy's going shopping with Mummy. Very exciting. So I can get on with some stuff.
Shopping after the playground.
Right, you got that, Mummy? Shopping after playground. And I'm going to get on with some work. I'm going to go for a quick run. I did want to do it outside because the weather's been lovely so far today. But unfortunately, Sophie's still out and my aunt and uncle are going to stop over here on the way back from my parents' party. So if I go for a run outside and they turn up, which they might do, so it's going to be an inside run. But that's probably not a bad thing because I haven't been for a run for like a whole week, and I might like do 2 kilometers and decide that's enough. In fact, actually there's quite a good chance of that. I need to do 10 kilometers, but I bet 2's my number today. Okie doke. So in the end, I did 6.2 kilometers, almost 5.5 minutes per kilometer pace, which is pretty bad, but it could be worse. I just need to exercise more regularly. I did do about 20 minutes of walking afterwards, uphill, of course. Massive amount of heart rate-ness. Had a pretty positive impact on my day, I'd say. Right now I need to clean up because Uncle Simon and Auntie Connie will be here shortly. I do like this whole Fitbit thing. It kind of computer game-izes your life. Soph and Jasper are back as well. Sorry? Yeah, we've got loads of time.
Look, YouTube cat.
What is it? It is, isn't it? That's a big fancy toothbrush. And what kind of toothbrush is it?
A Star Wars toothbrush.
Wow, lucky boy.
Yeah, but I can't take this out.
Oh, Mummy will help you.
Because I have to charge it.
Yes, our guests are here, which means I can't really talk about what I wanted to talk about today, which was the sort of evolution of tech. Well, maybe I can if I'm really quick. That thing's a lifesaver. It gets really hot and muggy in this office, unfortunately. So, just quickly, what I was going to talk about was the fact that it occurred to me it's kind of funny with tech. Back in the day, the very beginning of human technology, so stone tools, wooden tools, they were very much made by single people. You made your own, pretty much, is how it started. And then over time, making tools has required more and more and more people. But now technology seems to have almost come full circle a little bit, in that it's actually requiring less and less people to get things done. For example, take video editing. To produce a vlog like this in the past would have taken a team of people and loads of really specialist equipment. These days, all it really takes is your phone. And if you want to do a slightly better job than that, a proper, laptop or MacBook, something like that, so that you can edit it. And of course, you can, take it to a more advanced place. You can use lighting, use different cameras, use a big DSLR that's making your arm ache. That's what I'm currently dealing with, because I only have a few minutes, so I don't really have time to put the camera down. Ultimately, it's very much becoming more a sort of a single person can produce good content kind of thing. And it's kind of actually the same with things like product production. With the advent of 3D printers, it's starting to get to the point where people can manufacture things that they never used to be able to do. It's kind of almost a return to a cottage industry. It's fascinating. Really, the way technology has moved and changed is truly a fascinating part of what it is to be human. That's what I think. And, yeah, coming! I told you supper was going to be ready. We'll finish this in a minute. Ow. I think I pulled something, and not running actually. I think I pulled it by doing some longboarding outside when I was supposed to be cooling down. Not a sensible idea. It was good though. What? Good way to cool down. It, no idea. I think it stopped. No, I didn't. It did not stop it this time. See, normally I stop the music in the kitchen because it's copyrighted and annoying, but this time, not guilty. Oh. Blimey heck, that leg's still killing me. Ouch. Right. Now I'm going to finish off today's vlog post with what we were talking about before, the evolution of tech. And the thing is, right, although it's got to the point where individuals can create and work effectively and achieve far more than they ever could before, there's one caveat, and that is that the technology does itself contain an interdependence which does lead to potential problems. For example, owners of the Spark, the little micro drone type thing, looks like a cool bit of kit actually, I'd quite like one of those, but here's the problem with them. There's an update that's being delivered over the air by DJI, and if you don't update your Spark, then it won't be flyable. And that's from the 1st of September, so not a huge amount of time there for owners to get their drones updated. I know why they're doing it that way, of course, because it's a safety issue and they don't want these things falling out of the sky onto people's heads, so I commend them for that. And it's quite similar. I don't think Tesla has ever released an update that you have to install or you can't drive your car, but they could do. So there is quite a lot of control that's been given away to the creators of these fantastic tools. Of course, the advantage of these tools to some extent is over time we are going to get to the point where we can build more and more of it ourselves. And 3D printers don't have to stop at little plastic molds. They can move into multi-materials, printing in metals, then printing in plastics and metals and circuit boards ultimately, and maybe even your own microchip manufacture, probably not quite as advanced and powerful as the microchips you'll get from Intel or AMD or somebody like that, but still it could be enough to actually enable you to build and design your own devices or download somebody else's designs and use them. And that, I think, is going to be extremely exciting. In particular for people who want to solve a problem that might be a bit more unusual. Take, for example, the only thing that I've ever really used 3D printing for. I got a 3D printed holder outside for my Type 2 charge cable, because you know what? They're actually quite difficult to get hold of. There won't be when every car comes with a Type 2 cable, then obviously there'll be a whole industry around them. When I got it last year, there weren't that many people with EVs on the road. When it comes to what you give up, I mean, for example, look at this. I have my own YouTube channel, you probably already know that, and I produce videos for it, but I rely on YouTube. Otherwise, the camera, the laptop, the videos I produce, they go nowhere. Actually, there's a sort of a similar situation going on with authors, in that these days self-publishing is actually quite common. You know, people write a book, maybe they do it as a hobby, it's well written and they think other people might enjoy that book, so they can publish it onto Amazon and maybe make some money from it. Maybe it will do really well, maybe it won't, but it's not really cost them anything much, and they've been able to do something that in the past was only really possible if you were a professional writer and lucky enough to get some kind of a book deal. So it is quite exciting how technology is enabling people to work in smaller groups and to achieve more as individuals than they ever used to. I spent the entire evening chatting to Uncle Simon and Auntie Connie. I had a bunch of really interesting conversations, but that does now mean that it is basically midnight, so I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, share it and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next instalment of my daily vlog. Bye. Well, I don't know yet, I haven't decided. I'm a bit fat for skateboarding.
No, we're not. We're not too fat for skateboarding.
I am a little bit.